Welcome to My Social News. My Social News is a website where you can read news and find news stories that are particularly relevant for you. There are two main features on My Social News. The first is the general newsreader page, which is a page you see when you enter the site. This page is pre-populated with news stories from your country. On this page, you can get an overview of the most relevant news stories from the major media. On the general news page, you get all news, but you can choose to narrow down the page using this drop-down selection. Whenever you wish to read a news story, you simply click the headline of a story. When you're done reading the story, you either click the back button or you click this link. The second main feature of My Social News is the ability to see what your friends are reading on My Social News. Your friends are your Facebook friends who are also using My Social News. If you do not have any friends who are using My Social News, you should immediately invite some of your friends to the site, because news reading on My Social News is much more interesting when it is social. You can invite friends using the invite link. You can see what your friends are reading in this box on the front page. But you can also go to the Friends Are Reading page, where you can see the full list of what your friends are reading. When you've been using the site for a while, you will notice that the news stories on this page are much more relevant and interesting because they've been selected by your friends. These are the most important features on My Social News. But wait, there's more. When you scan news stories, you can choose to share them on Facebook using the share link. You can also recommend the news story. Recommending a news story means that other users on My Social News can see that you specifically like the story. Recommended stories can be found in the section Recommended by Friends. If you get tired of the pre-selected news stories, you can choose to add your own sources to the newsfeed. You can do this in two ways. The first way is to copy news sources from your friends. For example, if my friend Christine has added some of her own news sources, I can choose to copy some of these to my own newsfeed. Simply click the icon of your friend. On the friend page, I can see what Christine has been reading and recommending. But if I scroll all the way to the bottom, I can see Christine's news sources. Christine has created her own category called International News. I can either choose to copy this entire category to my own profile, or I can choose to copy some of the feeds within this category. The second way to add news sources is to find your own news feeds on the internet. Most publishers, including established media and blogs, publish a so-called RSS feed. Go to any news site or blog and look for the word RSS or the orange RSS logo. When you've found the feed, which looks like this, you should copy the feed address. When you've done this, you open the Sources section of My Social News and add the feed to one of your categories. Or you create an entirely new category. To add the feed, simply click Add News Source, write the feed name, and then copy the feed address into this input field. When this is done, simply click Add. If you wish to create an entirely new category, simply click Add Category, write the name of the category, and click Add. Now you've seen how to read news and how to add news sources on My Social News. At some point, you will start to have a lot of friends using My Social News, and these friends belong to different groups. Maybe you would like to sort your news according to different friend groups. It may be interesting to follow what your colleagues are reading or the friends from the sports club. On My Social News, you can do this, but you need to create your friend groups in Facebook. Some people already have created friend groups, and in this case, My Social News automatically imports the friend groups. You can find the friend groups in this drop-down. If you don't already have friend groups in Facebook, You will have to create some in order to use this functionality in My Social News. My Social News is based on the idea of sharing news with friends. However, sometimes we all like to read our news in private. In these cases, we recommend that you select a higher level of privacy, which you can do in the Settings menu. You should not do this permanently, however, as this runs against the whole idea of My Social News. In the Settings menu, you can also choose another country setup. However, you should be aware that if you change your country settings, you will delete any feeds you may have added manually to My Social News. If you wish to be updated with news about the My Social News project, or if you wish to contribute with ideas or comments, you can follow us on the blog, on our Facebook page, or on our Twitter profile. Finally, don't forget to invite friends to My Social News and help us make My Social News social.